With this simulation, you can analyze the so-called Greeks of an option position. In other words, you will conquer the meaning and dynamics of delta, gamma, vega, theta, and rho. Moreover, you will learn about their dynamics in relation to price changes of the option's underlying asset. In this simulation, you act as both an option trader and a risk manager. As a trader, you can transact various exchange-listed options and their underlying futures contract. And as a risk manager, you are expected to look after the Greek variables, as these concern risk parameters. Your task is to set up an option position. In other words, you set up an option strategy and see what Greek values each of those positions have and how those values change if the price of the underlying futures contract changes. A long call option, so buy a call and check the Greeks. Also see how they change and try to explain how this comes. Only when that is clear, liquidate your position and set up a long put option position. Now analyze the Greeks of this position and identify the differences with the call position. You will have to conclude that, if call and put are of the same series, most numbers are comparable except for delta and rho. One is positive while the other is negative, and it may also be that the numbers are not identical. Once you have finished this, you liquidate your position and then you set up one of the following strategies and start analyzing again. A long call spread, a long put spread, an at-the-money straddle, a strangle, and an even money caller. Analyze the reported numbers in the overview here to monitor the Greek variables of your portfolio. Aside from the above and passant, be aware of the time to maturity of both the options and the underlying futures contract. It is 6 months each and thus half a year. At the end of the simulation, set up a final position of your own choice and check the Greek variables that relate to it. Conclude what the impact will be on the value of your portfolio and thus on your financial performance if one or each of the following scenarios takes place. The market price of the underlying futures contract goes down with 2.00. For this matter, check the delta number. The implied volatility moves up 3% point. Analyze the vega level. 1 day goes by and the market remains unchanged. For this purpose, see the theta position. And finally, the interest rate moves up by 0.5% point. Hence, watch the rho number. Best of luck with your endeavors.